Hi, this is Matt with Blue Line Barbecue. Today we're going to take a look at all the different setups, modifications, and accessories we can do to maximize the versatility of your Weber Smokey Joe. Smokey Joe. This was made to be a portable charcoal grill. This one has the lid handle. What it does is clips onto the handle up here. So then when you are ready to take it wherever you're going, you can just pick it all up as one unit. Then you can hang it down here, and it works as a hinge kind of for your lid. It's got a top vent just like most kettle grills. On this one, the vents are on the side. There's one on each side. But you can get models where the vents are on the bottom, like a normal kettle grill. Comes with a charcoal grate, 14-inch wide cooking grate. What I'd like to do is show some of the different ways we use this, different modifications and accessories we use to help us use this to the max. To maximize my charcoal use, or the life of my charcoal, is take and put another one on it so it's crisscross. Now the charcoal pieces have to be a little bit smaller to fall through. So there's a few different ways we can get this going for direct grilling. You can use a charcoal chimney to light your charcoal. I like to just put all the charcoal on one side. I'll light it with a torch or some sort of a fire starter. Once everything's ready, we'll just spread all this stuff out. Just make sure you don't use your hand when it's lit, because that will not feel good. And then right there, we're ready. We put our grate on, and you're ready to cook. So the next way that I personally like to use this the most is indirect cooking. So put all the charcoal on this side, light it like we did before. You can do this a couple different ways. Our fire will be on this side, and our meat will be on this side, so that the heat will have to come up and over the meat to get out the lid. When you do this, you always want to put the lid on the opposite side of the fire so it draws it out over the meat, so it helps it cook. We can have the charcoal by itself on that side, no need to divide it. I've seen some people put dividers in. I personally like to. What I have here, it doesn't look like it anymore, but it was just an aluminum loaf pan. I'll basically just set it over there. It'll kind of be a little bit of a shield. Some people take bricks and put them in here. It's about the perfect size to go the entire width of the charcoal grate. That works as a good divider. It also helps as a heat sink. It'll soak up some of that heat and gradually disperse it throughout the cook. And if you wanted to reverse sear, we would do the same thing. We'd cook our meat on this side to a certain temperature. Then we'd bring it over here to sear it. Very popular with steak. A lot of people cook steak that way. What I've got here is a terracotta pot flower pot base. This is another thing you can use as a heat sink, a drip tray. So what I did was I took that terracotta pot and I wrapped it up in tin foil. Just helps a lot with cleaning, keeping everything clean. If you ever want to replace the foil, all you gotta do is unwrap it, throw it in the garbage, put new on. So for the snake method, what we're going to do is put our charcoal down. Now if you have this version of the Smokey Joe, there's a little peg here that holds the lid handle. So I'd like to take my first charcoal and lean it up against there, if you can see that. I also like this royal oak for this. See how it's kind of got the ridges on it? Those work really well to interlock each piece of charcoal. So here you can see we have our snake made. What you can also do is put some wood chunks or wood chips on top of it. The way it works is you can light these briquettes that are already in here, or light some other ones and set them in there so they'll get everything going, and it will burn all the way around. Keep going till it hits the end. You can usually get a pretty long burn time. I'm guessing with this setup we'll probably get 4 to 6 hours. And how it cooks is we'll put our meat right in the middle, and it'll just cook all the way around the meat till it's fully done. You might have to add charcoal, you might not, depending on what you're trying to cook. Another thing we can do here to add to this setup, I have a little pie pan right here. So this could work as a drip tray. You could put water in it, beer, apple juice, whatever you want. That will also help to regulate temperatures by causing humidity and keeping the coals from lighting too fast. So right here, this is the way I set up for indirect cooking. I got my diverter charcoal on the side right next to one of the vents. I got my terracotta pot as a drip pan. We put our grate on. You're kind of limited to what you can cook, mainly due to the height of the lid. If you were going to try and cook a pork butt on here, you'd have to shave it down pretty thin just to get it on there. So with that being a restrictor to this cooker, I was trying to figure out different ways to add cooking space. And I watched a bunch of videos, try and see if anybody's tried anything. And pretty much everything was indirect or snake method. There's a terracotta pot modification you can do where you actually add like a whole cooking area in between the bottom and the top. So pretty much makes it a Weber Smokey Mountain. I didn't want to do that. Take up too much space, I think, and I already have a Weber Smokey Mountain, so I didn't need to do that. But first I found this hinged grate, which I really like. That'll give me access to the charcoal. You can get this type of grate for all the Weber kettles, but you can never find one for the Weber Smokey Joe. Well, Grill Vana started making one, and I was very happy to see that, so I ordered one right away. But this didn't cure the lack of cooking space, so I had to keep thinking. And I remembered that I was doing a pork butt competition once, and they needed more pork butts cooked. So I took out my kettle grill, my 22-inch Weber kettle, and I actually cooked one on top and one on the charcoal grate with a divider like this. You have to rotate so they get even cooking, but it worked, so I thought, why can't I do that with this? So one day I was going through the local hardware store, and I saw they had these small roasting racks, and I'd never seen one that small. This one right here is 11 3/4 inches long and 8.5 inches wide. All-purpose broiling rack. So I thought to myself, I wonder if I could fit that in there. So I bought it, came home, laid it down. It fits on the indirect side right on top of the terracotta pot. You still have a pretty shallow cooking area on it, but at least it's another level. So now what you can do is put meat on the bottom roasting rack and meat on the top. I'm going to be trying this out for our next video. and I will let everyone know how it works. So these are all, they don't fit real well, and if you're grilling, that's really not a big deal. The heat's going by all the meat on the way out anyways. So I got kind of mad when I was trying to smoke some stuff on this, and there was a bunch of smoke coming out of the lid. You could see it puffing out all the way around. So what I did is I went and bought some gasket. Put it all the way around. All that is high temp gasket, Big Green Egg brand. And it seems to work very well. It also adds a little bit of height to your lid. So that adds just a little bit of cooking area. So another thing we can add to make this even more versatile is this thing called the Tip Top Temp. What this is a temperature regulating mechanism. Turn your kettle grill into a smoker is their slogan, and it's very true. I've been using it on kettle grills for a long time, and it works great. And I've tried it on the Smokey Joe, and it works great as well on there. So how it works is there's a spring with this little butterfly on it. If you're familiar with a carburetor on a vehicle, that's kind of how it works. As you can see, it's got numbers on the side. That's for dialing in whatever temperature you want it to be. On their website, they have a chart. It goes off of the ambient temperature outside and whatever cooking temp you want, and you can cross-reference it, and that's where you want to set your butterfly at. So let's say you need it to be at a 4 according to the chart. So what you'll do is take this, just turn it to 4. So the 4 is lined up with the top. And as the cook goes on, the spring will heat up, and that pulls the damper shut. And it works really well. So how this attaches, there's a rubber gasket on the bottom that goes all the way around. You want to pull it down so it's probably about a 1/4 inch overhang. Then what you do is set it right over the vent and push down just a little bit to seal that gasket. That'll seal it all the way around, so all the air has to come through here so the spring can do its job. Had very good luck with these. The only things that really deter them is wind and rain. Otherwise they work really good. If you have any suggestions for modifications, accessories, or what you think we should cook next on the Weber Smokey Joe, please leave a note down in the comments. Please like, subscribe, and ring the notifications bell so you don't miss out on any of our upcoming videos. If you are interested in any of these products we use to modify the Weber Smokey Joe, I'll leave links in the description so you can check them out.